Hey guys, Zangetsu 134 here. So you probably noticed that last week I did not do any videos. I went through some personal stuff. I didn't really feel emotionally up to filming. But I'm coming back because I feel like I wanna get some stuff done. I actually did try to record something, but like it didn't pan out, and I just didn't feel like re-recording it that because I just kind of felt a little emotionally exhausted. Um, so anyway, we're not doing the Garo vlog first, which you'll probably tell by the title, but instead we will be reviewing Teen Titans: The Judas Contract, the DVD adaptation. So I saw this last week, and I meant to review it then, but like I said, I had a botched recording, and due to my personal stuff, I just did not feel like trying to re-record it. And it's a little late, but I think it's still within enough time that I think people would like to hear about it. So yeah. So as people know, this is an animated adaptation of probably the most well-known Teen Titans story from the Marv Wolfman run. I forget the other guy, but like his run on the Teen Titans, which, to be fair, is probably like one of the best stories from that time. I mean, granted, there was a lot of good ones. Actually, I take that back. It's actually an adaptation of this and an adaptation of the origin of Starfire. Well, the origin of her with the Titans. As the film opens on that and showing the original team, even though it's not really the original team, it's part of the original team because it has Beast Boy, or not Beast Boy. It has Robin, Kid Flash, and Speedy, who were originally members of the Teen Titans, but minus Donna Troy and Aqualad, aka the actual original team from the Golden Age. It had Bumblebee, who is a recurring member of the Teen Titans. Beast Boy, who I think is supposed to be like a little kid in that, mostly because he's wearing his Doom Patrol outfit from his time on the Doom Patrol. Even though it really doesn't make sense. Then the fact that like it seems to take place, I think when Robin's still like I think is about to graduate out of the Robin outfit, mostly because Twitter was a thing in both parts. Apparently, Beast Boy's really obsessed with Twitter in this film. But yeah, it really doesn't add. It's mostly just there to kind of start off showing how the team has evolved from like when Robin founded the Teen Titans to the modern part of the modern team that you'll see here. Well, kind of modern. As you saw on the cover, as you saw on the cover, Dick is still in his New 52 Nightwing outfit, an outfit he no longer wears. I get that this was probably like in production back before Rebirth was going to happen, but like, yeah, I'm not a big fan of this suit. Like, I know it's his regular suit, it's just red, but I really didn't care for him having the red there. But yeah, it still follows the basic plot, other than it changes a few things to make it fit in with, I think, the Batman films that came out, mostly because Damian is in this, so it fits in with Batman and Son, and I think Batman Bad Blood was the thing it was called, where like we see Damian becoming a more prominent member of the Bat family. So yeah. But yeah, and it doesn't have a lot of the other characters. Like, there's no Cyborg. Although I think Blue Beetle actually takes his spot. Mostly because he, like Vic, when the Titans get attacked, is taken out by a. Sorry, my mustache is really thick. gets taken out by a chair that's been booby trapped to knock him out. um, yeah, and there's no, like I said, there's no Donna Troy. There's not a lot of the members that were prominent members at this time. The other thing is Starfire is the leader of the Titans at the moment, because the series implies that like Dick left for a while to reestablish himself as Nightwing, which is supposed to happen during the comic. Like he just he leaves because at the time when the story had been written, there were two Robins, like, because Dick now lived in New York with, I think, New York? I think later they reestablished it as, like, San Francisco or, like, Los Angeles. But, or as the TV cartoon stated, Jump City, which I don't know why that was a thing. Where's it going with this? Oh, yeah. And so, like, because Jason Todd was now being established as Robin at the time, Dick needed a new outfit so he could be differentiated, to the chagrin of Dan DiDio, who hates him. Everyone else, like, I don't understand Dan DiDio's hatred of Nightwing, but be that as it may, maybe he created Jason Todd, I don't know. Be that as it may, here it's just he left and now he's back. And he works alongside this team, which is kind of small. It's Dick and Starfire now basically co-run the team, and the team is now Changeling, Beast Boy, after he finally dropped the moniker, mostly because he's in his Changeling outfit and not his Beast Boy outfit. Raven, who is no longer the same age as Nightwing and Starfire, I guess. Blue Beetle, who was a member of the Teen Titans, like, a long, well, not a long time ago, but, like, in terms of, like, the comics, he was a member before the jump to the New 52, so, like, it's been 6 years since he's been a member of the Teen Titans. Like, he had his own solo book when the New 52 came back, which I don't know why, because at that point he really hadn't sold very well as his own solo title. I mean, I love his solo title. I love the original Blue Beetle solo title for the Blue Beetle 3 original, since he's the third Blue Beetle. But yeah, and I think by that point, like, they had run out of steam for what things to do with him, so, putting him on a member of the Teen Titans made sense. And of course, the eponymous Judas herself, Tara, who is much more accurate to the comic, where she's like a troubled teenager that kind of fell into, well, actually, she never really had a deal. She was just a jerk teenager that was wangsty and annoying. But here she actually has, like, a decent origin for why she sides with Slade, who they call Deathstroke more often than not, but I know people prefer to call him Slade. Which, by the way, at the time this comes out, apparently they're planning on doing a Teen Titans event called the Lazarus Contract, where where Deathstroke comes back to get revenge on them again. Which, like, I just read the button where Batman stabs Reverse Flash with a sorry, allergies. The batarang to the foot while he was vibrating. And people probably call bull on that. Yeah, he'll probably end up kicking the butt of every single Titan, even characters he shouldn't, rightfully so, like Kid Flash, and no one will care because Deathstroke gets to be excused for being overtly broken. But I know, because I like Batman, and I know he gets explained that he can do all sorts of things even though he really shouldn't. Deathstroke is way worse in that regard. But yeah, Tara in this is, I guess, lived in like an old country sort of place, and when her powers activated, her parents thought she was possessed by the devil, so her village and her parents proceed to torture her and also tie her to the back of a horse and, like, pull her in the hopes that she'll eventually get bloodied up and beaten to the point where, like, she'll just die. But then Deathstroke rescues her, because even, like, a monster as awful as Slade can have a heart every once in a while. They do kind of hint about, like, how in the comic she had a sexual relationship with Slade despite being 15 and him being, like, 60-something. Here I think it's more implied that she tries to seduce him. Like, because there's a scene where she's wearing a nightie and way too much blush on her face, which I'm like, that's really weird. I mean, granted, in the comic, she also wears skimpy outfits around him, and yeah, I don't understand that. I never understood why they decided to make Slade a pedophile. Or into statutory. I never understood that at all. But yeah, like, and not only that, like, it makes more sense why she would actually, like, kind of side with the Titans too, like, that she's... There's more that she was, you know, a traitor and a double agent, but she also joined with them because they actually treated her well, which was something that the comic never does very well, in my opinion, because she's just evil, which really doesn't work in the comic's favor, since the Titans try to, like, the whole time think she's just being used by Slade, to the point where they make her a statue. I don't understand that. And writers have tried to fix it, which never really stuck and would eventually result with Beast Boy making out with Zombie Terra during Blackest Night. But here, I get why he's kind of interested in her. Damien... Hold on a minute, there's a phone. Damien is pretty good himself. He's actually, like... He's still a jerk. Yeah, wrong number. He's still a jerk, but, like, you can kind of tell he's opened up to being on the team. Oh, jeez, now I broke two. Oh, this is going super well. Not gonna keep going. Nah, I don't care. He seems to be more mellowed out. Like, he's still a jerk, but he doesn't seem as jerky. Although he keeps trying to kill Blue Beetle because the Beetle keeps attacking them. And really, he and Dick have, like, the most, I think, well, it's him, Dick, and Beast Boy that usually have the most character stuff in here. Beast Boy for his crush on Terra, and Damien because in this continuity, Slade was a member of the League of Assassins. It was going to become, like, the head of the demon when Raish passed it on, but, you know, then Damien was born, and so he had a rightful heir. So, like, Slade is obsessed with him for some reason that's lost on me. Like, I mean, I get it, but, like, it's like, dude, he's a little boy. You don't need to be so weird about it. Otherwise, everyone else is pretty good. Raven, I think, gets the least amount of character stuff. Mostly just, like, they bring up the terror of Trigon and how, like, Trigon is now sealed in her gem and she can access Trigon's power. She uses her magic, and at one point she does say Azarath, Metriel, and Zinthos like she used to do in the cartoon. That wasn't a thing that she did a lot in the comics. Azarath is mostly just the name of the dimension her mother is from. I actually don't know what Metriel and Zinthos is. I will admit I don't know as much about Raven as I do a lot of the other Titans. Blue Beetle is pretty cool. I'm not a big fan of how they took him. They do the pre-New 52 thing where he actually told his parents that he ended up with this weird alien technology stuck inside of him. But, like, his dad doesn't really approve and, like, is upset that his son has to live with the Titans until he can figure out a way to control the Beetle. And it just kind of comes off as kind of forced just because I'm like, well, it's either that or he's going to end up hurting someone. So, you know, Like, it sucks, but, he's trying to do the responsible thing with it. They did make a really nice homage to his girlfriend from the comics, Tracy 13. They never outright call her Tracy 13, but her name is Tracy, and she has the 13, a shirt that has the number 13 on it. In reference to his girlfriend with magic powers, mostly because we never see her use magic. But yeah, all the characters really do something. And it's an overall good story. They do a lot of interesting stuff. Like, they make Brother Blood actually kind of scary and actually kind of a serious threat to the Titans. Especially with his control over Hive, which, by the way, is going to confuse people because Hive in this is just a terrorist organization like AIM. Unlike in the cartoon where it's an academy for making supervillains. That was actually one of the changes that the cartoon did that I thought was actually kind of interesting, because I like the idea of like a supervillain academy, much like how like the Avengers have the Avengers Academy, and I think that would make an interesting comic. DC or Marvel, if you decide to watch this for reasons beyond me, I just gave you, like, you should totally make a comic about like teen supervillains in like in a supervillain academy. I would read that. I bet a lot of people would read that. Like, it's kind of an interesting idea, like, especially because they really make it more like a cult than like how it was in the comics, where it's just sort of this organization that Brother Blood gets. My only real complaints in this would be just, it felt like Slade is kind of just an afterthought, unlike how in the original reason why he does the contract is because his son Ravager was hired by Hive to go after the Titans, so they can enact the plan that happens in this movie to drain their life forces, so that Brother Blood could become a god. And he fails and dies because of injuries that he received during it, which would eventually lead Deathstroke to becoming obsessed with the Titans, wanting to get them and collect the contract as a way of getting revenge for his son. They never mention Ravage or why. Like Deathstroke in this is just a hired goon that's doing this job because I guess partially because of his revenge for Damian. His son Jericho is hinted at being in this, but he's not any version of Jericho I know. He's actually a test subject for the God machine that Brother Blood is making. He gets the power and becomes invincible and bulletproof, except getting shot to the head, which, like, he gets a crowbar bludgeoned against him, and it just the crowbar bends. But he gets a bullet to the skull and it kills him. And except at the end it doesn't, because I guess he's immortal now. That's not Jericho's powers. And not only that, they don't tie him to Deathstroke, so I don't know why Jericho was in this. No mention of his wife, or his ex-wife, that played a very important role in the Judas contract. It does play out pretty much like the Judas contract, where everyone gets kidnapped, but Nightwing. Tara still does what she does in the book, whereas she thinks Raven doesn't like her and knows that she's up to no good, or at least has an idea that she's up to no good thanks to her empath abilities. And like, so Tara has an especially huge grudge against Raven, which, in the cartoon, they make it that Raven's very suspicious of her, whereas Tara, like, doesn't really care. But, like, at the end, like Tara is the one that takes Raven out. Here, Raven gets taken out off screen, which annoys me to no end, because I wanted to see that fight. I happen to like their fights because Raven's magic abilities allow her to do the earth manipulation abilities that Tara has. And here it's all off screen, which frustrates me to no end. But But otherwise, it's a good story. It has some funny moments like at the end where Beast Boy gets to have an interview with Kevin Smith. Which is kind of neat, and Kevin Smith is on, and like it was kind of a neat way to tie everything up, because like Beast Boy has like a monologue he delivers about the whole thing. The action's really good. The stuff with Nightwing and Starfire is really good romantically. There's this really weird part at the end where like it shows Raven has a dog, and I think the idea is her and Damian are going to take care of it, because I kind of think they want to ship Damian and Raven, which is a really weird ship. But whatever. And yeah, it's a good film. I actually would recommend it. I thought it was going to be a lot worse than it was, but it was actually really, really good. I feel it's a little jumbled because like a lot of stuff happens, and you notice I kind of went from like point A to point Z, because like it's kind of fractured in that way. And sorry, I moved the camera like that. I had to stretch. Like it feels like there's all sorts of stuff that happens, but like not all of it ties together. Like it kind of wants to give all the characters screen time and kind of show like, you know, they've got lives outside the Titans, which is kind of weird because like not every one of them interacts with Terra in like a way. I think, yeah, that's one of the things. Like, I think the idea was like they wanted to show how the Titans were trying to give Terra like, I'm sorry, bonk the camera. Give Terra an interaction with each of the Titans to kind of show her like how she felt about each one of them. But it just kind of felt like it was the Titans doing stuff, like Jaime going to work at a soup kitchen, Beast Boy's interview with Kevin Smith, Starfire and Dick getting used to, like, they move in together because Nightwing got an apartment outside of the tower, and he wanted Starfire to move in with him because, you know, their dating is getting kind of serious. So serious that he's wanting to live with her, even though like they've been in a relationship for like years, according to this. I'm like, oh, that's some Batman stuff right there. Like, you're really serious with her, but you don't want to get married because Batman doesn't do that. Way to be, Dick. Way to be. Probably also because they can't have him get married because he's like, I think one of the most like sought after superhero by superheroines, because like I've seen multitudes of superheroines wanting to get with Dick. Like, I know he's been with Starfire and Barbara Gordon and Huntress and Tarantula. There's probably more than that, but I'm not an encyclopedia of that sort of thing. But yeah, it's pretty good. It's a shame that Cyborg couldn't have been in this, because I would have loved for them to have gotten like the guy who does Cyborg to do him, but nowadays Cyborg has to be stuck with the Justice League, which I don't know. I like that he is with the Justice League, but it just doesn't work for me. But that's neither here nor there. Like I said, it's a good film. Comes with a really great preview for this new animated film they're making called Batman and Harley Quinn, which is being animated from what I saw in the trailer, like the original Batman the animated series. Is getting back Kevin Conroy for Batman, the original voice for Nightwing, and it just looks really good. It looks funny. It looks like it's going to be very much like the old school Batman the Animated Series, and I'm looking forward to it. It looks kind of silly, not nearly as serious as probably this, or Justice League Dark, or some of the other films that have came out recently. But yeah, it looks really good, and I'm looking forward to that one. I'm probably going to get that, and I will review it for you guys. But until then, this has been my review of Teen Titans: The Judas Contract. I recommend picking it up. And look forward to tomorrow when I do my reviews on Garo Death the Black Wolf episodes 13 and 14. Because 13 was a clip show episode. So I'm just going to gloss over it and move on to the 14th episode. So until then, I will catch you guys later. Take care.